Thank you for being part of this event and taking the time to do the interview, actually.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Maybe you can tell me a bit more about you and your area of expertise at Spotify.
So I've been in data science and machine learning business for 10-15 years now. Started in academia and continued as a researcher there as well. Then went more into startup business and continued. I got some venture capital to continue my own PhD project, so I did that for a number of years. And continued working with the price runner guys, if you know them. And then Google basically killed their industry in 2011. So I've been working a bit more in Campania and also with Netflix and doing their online marketing worldwide. But the last 3 years I've been at Spotify, and I'm now heading up the Analytics Research Group in Stockholm. So we have recently started a new group with a higher focus on research projects, with data science in mind particularly. So we are working with more long-term projects that we perhaps didn't do before, and trying to tackle the more advanced analytical questions in a more in-depth way. So that's the focus right now.
So we're here today discussing data-driven innovation, and there are a lot of changes happening. I mean, the focus is data science and analytics. How do you think companies are dealing with all this?
I mean, for a lot of people, we have so many words and buzzwords that people throw around. You know, it can be like they have big data problems. It can be, you know, even data science in itself is very ambiguous, and people don't really, we're used in very different ways. For Spotify particularly, we have always been a tech company. The founders were very technically, you know, well versed, and they actually did a lot of development themselves initially. And you know, they basically say we're a technology company with music in our hearts. So we already had that, and it always been like a digitally, you know, focused company. So that's always been the case. And we also have, you know, the data-driven and data-first approach to the problem that we take. But also that, you know, we have, you know, serious big data problems as well. So we have the biggest cluster in Europe, one of the biggest at least, and we are also facing problems with actually having too much data. So we also made this move into the cloud environment again, where we can basically scale infinitely, both in terms of storage and compute. But you know, with the amount of big data, then you get into other problems like data discovery, which is an issue that we are trying to resolve. And it basically means that when you have a certain number of people and a certain amount of data, you have so many different data sets, schemas, changes of schema, dynamics of them, that it becomes a problem in itself just to find and be able to use all the data set that people create. So yeah, this is an example of, you know, new problems that perhaps not all companies have, but companies that do work a lot with data has to resolve.
What is your advice? Like, how can companies get ready for?
Well, it depends on the situation. I mean, for most companies, as I said, they don't really have a big data problem in itself. They perhaps don't need to think about data discovery as an issue unless they are a really big company. But with the advent and the improvements that we've seen in the cloud environment, you can get a lot of services for free there. I mean, we see a lot of companies trying to build everything from scratch, in not making use of a lot of the advanced tools we are seeing, and that can be a big problem. Especially a lot of startups sometimes try to rebuild the wheel basically, and that can certainly be an issue. So just, you know, thinking in the ability to do some more interactive and ad hoc analysis and have tools to do that efficiently and visualize that and communicate about that I think is something that everyone should really think about how to do properly.
This is also for taking full utilization of data, like the same process that you just mentioned.
Yes, because, you know, the normal way, I guess people have done it historically, at least like 10 plus years ago, it was, you know, using Excel, or it was putting it in some kind of spreadsheet and doing some simple graph there. And you can get only so far with that kind of tool. And as soon as you move into some more big data land, you will have problems with that approach. So then, making use of some more modern techniques to deal with that, both in terms of being able to apply, more advanced algorithms to it to find, patterns in the data automatically in a distributed way. That's one problem that you need help with. You can't build that from scratch. You will, not get anywhere if you try to do that. But also just visualize and build more interactive presentation and visualizations of the data is something that would be extremely expensive to build yourself. So, really try to find the right tool for the right job and make sure to use that.
And the right person.
Yes, and the right person. Good comment.
So, what do you think we can expect in the nearest future?
Well, I think we've seen like a change in, if we talk about analytics as a concept. We started with a simple, single machine kind of approach, Excel approach to actually work with the data. We've seen a move into being able to work with big data, thanks to Google and other big companies. And I think the latest thing that's happening is we are, for one, trying to make it much more simple to work with it. So the APIs and the services are becoming much more easy to use. You don't have like super advanced engineering skills, but you need some. But you don't need to be an expert software engineer to be able to use these services, which is great, which make it more ubiquitous and more people can do that. But also we've seen other trends in making more real-time applications. We've seen so much into batch processing, especially in the big data land before. And I guess one reason for that is simply because it's been too difficult to do anything in real time. But now we're seeing a lot of advances in that area as well, which leads to interesting new applications that they didn't even think of before. So I think with these two changes in making it more easy to make use of more advanced techniques and also having more interactive and real-time applications, that will be an interesting future.